welcome to my channel. This is Susanna Sun checking in today to offer Divine Feminine channeling specific for you and this collective around the energies of today, which is the solar eclipse in Libra in October 2023. If that's not the time that you're in, that's totally okay. There's still going to be a message here for you, but I'm expecting that you're going to be reflecting the energy. So this energy is really about uncovering some deep shadows and stepping into a full sense of light. There is literally light behind the shadow in the skies today. So it's like there's a part of us that was so far in the shadows that we didn't even realize. And the light is coming in kind of from behind in this gentle way that's really just shining light on anything that we hadn't been previously aware of. So any parts of ourselves that we have been denying, rejecting, avoiding, these parts are going to be requiring us to pay attention in order to move forward. And if we want to move forward, we are talking about a 9-year cycle because of the South Node placement, and it will take 9 years for it to come back to this specific placement. It's the South Node, which means that it's karma from our past, and we are clearing it. So we're really excited about that, and we're needing to give ourselves full permission to actually step into it and to accept that this is okay. It's we call it an ego death. It's the part of us that has to die before we're able to step into the new reality. So yeah, we're giving ourselves permission to go there. So let's check in and get a couple of cards to support us at this time. I would love to get a general energy as well as some support cards to help us in understanding what we need at this time, and just to give us some messages to help us to find safety and security through what could be a pretty intense time. A lot of people are feeling that it's really quite overwhelming. So yeah, let's go. We got to clear it first, right? Yeah, there's the death card. That's the general energy. So yeah, we're really surrendering to it. We know that death is not the end. It just means that there's a new beginning, actually. So when we are surrendering these old versions of ourselves, this karmic pattern that we've been living in unconsciously for the last 9 years, we're really sick of it and we're ready to make that change. But here we are realizing that in order to make that change, we do have to have the old version of ourselves go away. And there are some patterns and habits from these old versions of ourselves that are simply not compatible with the new reality that we're creating. And so we have to let those go. But it can definitely feel like a death in that we don't recognize ourselves anymore. Other people might not recognize us. We feel like we're not the same person anymore. And there's a lot of grief that comes along with letting old versions of ourselves go. All right, let's see. So a little bit of support. I would like to see just a little bit of some couple messages to give us some information about this experience and to give us more insight. Because it does look, the skies are quite foggy here anyways today. And that's kind of how it looks as well around me, is this kind of fogginess. So I do want to bring in more clarity just to be able to understand better and to see more clearly. So the Queen of Pentacles comes in reverse, and this is definitely that fogginess that I was just referring to. The Queen of Pentacles is sitting on her throne, receiving the physical manifestation of her kingdom, her queendom. She's in a place where she's really, in her upright position, she's really solid and confident about her ability to receive. And in the reverse, there's some sort of block to that receiving. There's some sort of resistance that we are becoming aware of, maybe that we didn't realize that we had. But the resistance is some part of us that isn't sure whether we really deserve to sit on this throne, and whether it's okay for us to receive the abundance that comes with that. So there's this kind of hesitation, and it kind of sounds like, I don't really know if that's for me. And it comes from this old perspective. The old version of us looks at the throne and goes, no way, that's for me. The new version of us looks at the throne and goes, there's my seat, there's my home. So we are having to, like I said, let go of that old version and the part of us that isn't sure whether we are worthy of our birthright, because this throne is really our birthright, and it wouldn't show up if it wasn't, right? And that's how you can see everything that you're experiencing, the rooms that you're in. If you feel like you're not quite there, like maybe you don't deserve it, then remember this card, remember this moment where we are bringing in this new reality, that the truth that we cannot be somewhere if we don't deserve to be there. And it's not to say that you deserve any challenges that come from that. I'm not saying you deserve punishment or abuse, but I'm saying that if you are there, if you are in that room, it's because there's something there for you. And it goes especially in regards to being in a room that you want to be in, a room that is really honoring you for what you are bringing to this world and respecting you, appreciating you for that. And that's the room that I'm saying you deserve to be in, because you're there. And you are there. You're coming there. That's what it looks like. That's what I'm seeing. All right. So the wild rose, do it your way, embrace your uniqueness, and untamed. Also in reverse. I'll give it to you straight first so you can see it. Yeah. The wild rose is my personal flower, because I grew up in a place where the wild rose was the national flower, the local flower, but also because I'm part of the rose lineage. And so as an adult, I realized, like, oh wow, this flower that I grew up with is actually part of my lineage and my medicine. It's not just something that happened to be around when I was a kid. So the medicine of it is really amazing. First, there's 5 petals, just like the Venus movement. And so there is a medicine just around the geometry of that. Having 5 different petals is, there's a lot of medicine around the numerology, of course. But with this one, it looks more about the wildness. The rose is definitely a reference to the feminine medicine, temple medicine, the priestesses of old who worked with the tantric lineages, right? That's what I'm referring to. The wild piece is related because certainly in our modern day, working with those ancient practices is definitely commonly seen as something that's pretty wild and out there. But even just in our daily lives, we're beginning to see ourselves as more wild, but not in an uncomfortable way. It feels like freedom. And we're finding a balance in it too, where it's not rebellious, it's really natural. And it looks like walking barefoot, holding hands with your platonic friend. There's these kinds of really nourishing things that are helping us to remember who we are, and it's coming through this type of wildness. So yeah, that's amazing. Okay. And Isis coming through for support as well, to give us a little bit of information about this eclipse season. What are we needing to know from Goddess Isis at this time to support us through this transition and into becoming more self-realized, and to sit in our abundance on the throne that we are really meant to be on? So thank you, Isis, for coming through at this time to offer us.
Hey, what's going on, babies? Oh, hi. Yes, we're going to talk to the Goddess Isis. Are you excited? Okay, let's see what she has to say.
There it is. We've got the miracle of Isis, miraculous healing of the goddess. And you see she's got Osiris there as well, and she's got her wings. So one, because Osiris is there, we're understanding that there is a balance and that we are not meant to be doing this all by ourselves. That part of the gift that we have is to receive. By receiving, by allowing this other person to support us, we are offering medicine. Everyone who witnesses us receives medicine by seeing us allowing support, because it reminds each other that it's okay to receive support, that this is what we do when we are most aligned, when we are at our highest way of being. We are connected and allowing other people to support us, and that is a divine way of being. So if there is any part of you that is in this kind of hyper independence, this card is reminding you that that is a trauma response, that you don't have to do everything by yourself. That's not what we are here for. Most of us, anyways. Maybe you're on a hermit path, but most of us are not. And even if you are on a hermit path, that's usually a phase, not a lifelong experience. So here we are remembering that the divine feminine part of ourselves wants to lean on the masculine, and the masculine wants to support the feminine internally and externally. So this is the reality that we are beginning to see. We're beginning to give ourselves permission to feel it, and not only are we feeling permission to go into it, but we are understanding that by letting ourselves go into it, we are creating positive impact for ourselves, for all of the people who are around us as well. Don't forget. That's how she sounds. Don't forget. You must remember who you are. That's what she says. All right. So a little message from the angels to support us at this time through going through the eclipse. Angels, benevolent spirits, please offer us perspectives of divine insight into what is currently happening and what we need at this time to guide us into the fullest self-realization available. I thought one popped, but it didn't. Thank you so much for this guidance. We're so grateful for receiving. All right, we have physical touch is important. For some of us, nothing is more important than a tender touch. This might include a pat on the back or giving a hug to someone who needs it. This is definitely going off of the same energy as the last card, a continuation. So not only we are being supported, we are being adored. Look at this picture, right? It's like the support systems in our lives are arriving with gifts to let us know how much they appreciate that they are allowed to be in our lives, that we are giving them space, that we are giving them things to do that are meaningful, that help them to feel like they have purpose. And these support people are showing up in this just generous, appreciative state, because they are understanding that it is such a gift to be able to offer themselves to the goddess or the queen within us. And again, I want to clarify that this is something that's happening internally with parts of ourselves integrating with each other, but it's also possibly happening externally, where we now have a reflection of what's happening internally showing up to make it more clear, to solidify it, and to create that, holistic experience of what it is. So there's always going to be reflections around us, right, that are giving us feedback as to what we're experiencing. And this is one of those things. If we feel that we deserve to receive support, then the support arrives. If we feel that supporting us is something that is good for the other person, that they enjoy it, that they are grateful for that opportunity, then that's how they're going to arrive. And they arrive with these gifts. So grateful to be part of this bigger mission and to support this bigger mission. And that's really what it is. It's not all about us. It's not about us receiving. That's okay too. But it is about knowing that we have something higher that's coming through. And so we need that support in order to be able to bring it through. All right, let's go into the Rose Oracle one more time. I'm feeling another message coming from here. There's there's an embodiment piece that wants to be spoken. So that's going to come through here. And just so grateful to all of my teachers in the Rose lineage, all of the tantric teachers and the ancient practitioners who have supported me in learning how to share these informations with people. Yeah, there we go. It's the lineage of the rose, moved by the goddess, here for this soul call and gather. So this is a type of gathering where we are picking up on multiple energies at once and we're using them communally to understand ourselves and each other. So that's a version of it, but there's more available. So sisterhood is really, really important for women. We are beginning to understand this. We're beginning to see that when we give ourselves permission to gather as women, this is an incredibly powerful and potent experience. It's extremely medicinal to be around other women who are in this intentional and sacred place. By being vulnerable in these spaces, we are able to be witnessed, to be seen, to be validated. By witnessing other people, we are able to see ourselves reflected in each other. We're able to come into a connection of oneness and empathy and an expanded awareness. So it's very, very powerful medicine to gather as women. And this card is pointing that out to us, helping us to remember. I do have a month-long, one cycle sisterhood self-care practice that's coming up for November 1st, 2023. So if you're on that timeline, I think I'll be running it in the future too, but definitely join us if you want to be part of the sisterhood, if you want to step deeper into your power. We do 3 activations. We're doing the heart, the womb, and the voice, as well as a full clearing. So it's one cycle, but really it is setting us up for a routine that's really going to be powerful in stepping into these roles of, moved by the goddess. We're here for this. It means that there is a divine inspiration that is moving through us, flowing through us. And our mission is to allow that, to be sensitive enough to it, to be able to follow it, to be able to bring it through, to be able to ride the waves, right? And to feel the inspiration as it comes through in that. And one more card from Rumi this time.
Oh, what are we excited about? Is that a Rumi card? So exciting.
Where'd it go? It's kind of hiding on us. So that's interesting too. Kind of like this message is maybe not for everybody. I think some people just clicked off. But also that there is a kind of depth that doesn't need to be visible to everybody. It's okay for it to be held back a little bit. Not everything that you have to offer is meant to be on the table in the public. Some of it is requiring you to have people go through these stages where they kind of come into the first door. You see how they are. You see how they are around your gifts, how they respect it, whether they appreciate it, whether they reciprocate. And then if somebody has passed those pieces, then you can invite them into sort of the inner circle, a more private space where there's more depth there. But really people have to prove themselves before they can get there. So this card's telling us more about that. It's 29 and the right choice. So yeah, this is really speaking to that discernment. So when it comes to these support systems that I've been referring to, we want to clarify that it does require us to be very, very, very discerning, especially if we have a history of traumatic childhoods or unpredictable kind of environments in our childhood. We might not have an ability to be very clear in our discernment. A lot of us have this experience of feeling like we can trust somebody and believing what they say and wanting to see the best, and then having that kind of crumble. You know, the illusion becomes obvious further down the line sometimes.
What's going on over there?
And this is really reminding us that it's essential for us to create this discernment, to give people tests. It sounds harsher than it is, but we're just seeing how people are. We're seeing how they react. We're giving them a little piece, and then we're seeing what they do with it. And if they treat it in a way that is respectful and reciprocal and appreciative, then we give them a little bit more. Yeah. You can see also in this card that the energy is really big. It has this radiating type of feeling, and that's how we are, and that's why we need to be discerning, because we have this radiating light. It often has this effect on people of being like a magnet. And so all of these people are coming towards us, but we have to be extremely discerning about who we let in and to what level we let them in, because not all of the people who are attracted to us are here to feed that energy. A lot of them are here to feed off of it instead. And we do not allow this. We have strong boundaries to protect ourselves from this. And we know that it's absolutely essential for us to do that in order for us to reach our potentials.
I know it's time to be done. I know you need some attention. I just need one more card for them, okay? Let's go. Here it is. Yes, I know, baby. Come here. Come on. Yeah, that's a good girl.
We have the spell of organization. Come here. So we're being asked to really look at the parts of ourselves that are disorganized. The disorganization looks a lot like overwhelm. There's this kind of like, I don't even know what you're talking about, because there's so many things going on right now that I can't like focus enough to be able to fully understand what you're saying. So organizing means clearing out the old shit, literally and metaphorically in our own heads. Do some morning pages. Get your stream of consciousness out of your head onto something else first thing in the morning. And that's a really powerful way to clear that and to have more spaciousness. We're going into this type of more minimalist energy because we understand that when we have this type of simplicity, when we're not feeding the consumer cycle, then we are able to access these deeper parts of ourselves because it's not cluttered by all this other stuff in front of it. That's really exciting. Okay, so if you want a personal reading during this eclipse season, I do have it on sale right now. So check that out in the link in the bio if you want a personal reading about this eclipse season. I will also let you know that I am a somatic and energetic therapist, as well as a tantra teacher, and I specialize in womb medicine, bringing women into a divine connection with themselves. And I'm really here to create this type of community. So I also do have sisterhood practices that you can join, as I mentioned, also in the link in the bio. So check out those things and check out my, yes, I know, it's so exciting. Check out my TikTok, which you can also find in that link. There's all the things there. So I'm wishing you a beautiful eclipse season. I would love to hear from you in the comments if this does relate to you. What is happening in your own life that is relevant to this? Okay, off I go. Bye.